So yes, okay, so we are talking about a CHRBP program, a certification program, which is very important for you to understand. There's two components to our ITD World certification program. Is at the end of the program, you will wind up with the opportunity to earn two certificates. One is what I call a certificate of completion, to acknowledge that you have gone through the workshops and that you have completed the necessary assignments during the workshop, and therefore we will present with you a CHRBP certificate of attendance. The second certificate, which is the most important one, is a professional certification in CHRBP, so that you can then officially call yourself as a certified CHRBP practitioner. And I will talk a little bit more about what this means to become a professionally certified CHRBP practitioner. So, when you come to our program, and I am hoping that we will be able to do a face-to-face workshop in Saigon in the month of July. So I am absolutely looking forward to be able to go back to Saigon and meet up with some of the wonderful Vietnamese participants. I'm given to understand that it is scheduled for the Sheraton Hotel. I have not been into Vietnam for nearly 2.5 years already, because of the COVID-19. And so I'm looking forward to running the workshop, meeting up with you, and having a wonderful learning time with the participants. Right, so when you join up with me, we are going to cover for you a total of what I call 6 competency tracks. A good CHRBP has got 6 sets of competencies. And the first set of competency is your ability to really decode what is HRBP work. I mean, HRBP is a title. HRBP is a label. But do we really understand what is the roles? What are the responsibilities? How do we engage employees? How do we engage line managers? How do we engage with other parts of HR when we are given the role of a human resource business partner? So it requires a little bit of what I call deeper decoding of that role. And so under this one, we will be covering track 1 will give you 3 modules, and our program is arranged where each module is a half-day session. So 1 module in the morning, 1 module in the afternoon, and okay, so 2 modules per day, and we are going to be covering all these over a period of 5 days. So under the decoding HRBP, we have to give you a deep, deep insight that a HRBP's primary role is to help HR transformation. And when I use the word HR transformation, I am not talking about the HR department's transformation. I am talking about the human resource, the human capital of your business. All right, the transformation of your business capability, the transformation of your people capability, the transformation of your organization capability to satisfy the customers, to meet its strategy delivery, and to be able to meet, okay, its financial targets. Okay, so HR transformation. You are going to be what I call the transformation leader that will help your CEO, your department heads, your division heads, your managers to execute and undertake all transformation. Then the second module, we will introduce to you the competencies. What are the skills? What are the knowledge? What are the attitudes that you need to have to become a competent business partner? Okay, And then the third module, the third module is a very, very important module in the sense that when we look at the HRBP role, we can characterize the HRBP role as a salesperson's role. A salesperson in the organization is the front of the organization, touching, working, selling to the customers. And so you are representing the HR department in front of the managers, in front of the employees. And so not only are you helping the business and the talents to transform, but you want to do it in such a way where everybody not only believes in you, the HRBP, but is totally affirmative about the whole HR capability, the whole HR department. So you become a brand ambassador. They trust you, they trust the HR department. They trust the HR department because there is you. All right, so you have become a very, very powerful sales role to represent HR department to the business people. So that's why we call you a brand ambassador. Then track 2, which starts in the afternoon of the second day, is about managing change. Okay, so big change, small change, all kinds of change. Change in attitudes, change in mindsets, change in process, change in business model, change in the way that we want our culture to be able to help us with delivering a high performance capability. So we are there to help manage change. I would say to you that the biggest contribution that you can do as an HRBP is to become the change expert. Managers come to you to consult with you, to ask you to help you to facilitate the changes in the business. So in order to manage change, there are 2 modules. And in particular, not only are you going to learn the skills, not only are you going to learn the techniques on how to be able to initiate change, launch the change, or implement the change, and sustain the change. You definitely want to be able to execute those 3 vital phases of change: initiating the change, launching the change, and sustaining the change. But in particular, nowadays, we are more and more confronted about change in the digital age, in the digital era. So you're not only going to do your changes, but you're going to be given changes in context of the digital technologies, the digital future. You are going to learn that when you join us for our program, it's a very, very practical program. It's a very hands-on program. We're going to give you framework. We're going to give you theory. That is very important to have that. But more importantly, that these theories, you are given backup tools, you're given techniques, you're given templates, you're given process that allows you to be applied as you do the change. So we're going to talk to you and give you an array of toolkit to be able to help initiate the change, launch a change, and sustain the change in your organization. So you're going to wind up with a toolkit that you can use to help the organization manage change. Very important role now in track 3, and in track 3 we are going to again have only 1 module, but it's again a very interesting module because we're going to talk about your role as an organization development expert. Sometimes an OD development, organization development expert is seen to be the internal consultant. You're a facilitator. People come to you to ask you for ideas, to bounce ideas against you, to ask you to coach them in their thinking, to coach them in the design of their work, in the design of their business model. So you have to become the go-to person that facilitates really, really good discussions, and not only discussions, but the discussions that lead to successful execution. So you have got to learn the skills on how to become an OD expert and internal consultant. Track 4 has one module. And this is about how do you track if we are going to run HR like a business. Okay? Successful business have success measures, financial measures, customer satisfaction measures, market share measures, employee engagement measures, right? So all businesses, successful businesses, have their KPIs, key performance indicators, key result areas. You as the HRBP must be able to help the businesses identify the right people measurements, whether it is engagement, whether it is retention, whether it is upskilling your people, whether it is the agility of your workforce, whether it is the promotability of your workforce for succession planning. How do you measure? What are the critical measures, that shows that your organization is very powerful and very successful in managing the people side of the business? So you're going to learn, you're going to wind up with a dictionary. You're going to wind up with, again, an inventory of different metrics that will be picked up to help you and the business measure the human resource capability. Right, talent management. And we are going to have 2 modules for this. You are, as a HRBP, in an extremely sweet spot, a very unique spot, where you have the ability to help the business identify the talents, develop the talents, leverage the talents, and ultimately make the talents really, really powerful in enabling business success. In order to do that, we must be able to look at our talents in a future-centric kind of way. Yes, sometimes we look at our talents in today's job description, or they are the department head, they have a job description. They are an engineer, they have a job description. All these job descriptions are important, but as it refers to today's job requirements. When we talk about talent management, we need to go beyond today's job description by looking at the future job description, and then be ready to identify the measures and the competencies that get people ready for the future job, for the future requirements, for the future success. That's why, we talk about talent management in future-centric terms. And then many times we will spend money, we will spend effort coaching, mentoring those talents. But when the time comes, are we able to successfully move the right people into the right jobs at the right time? That's what we mean by leveraging talents. I always say this, that there is a difference between being a very talented engineer, or a talented accountant, or a talented salesperson. So a talented person means they have the skills, they have the competencies, they have got the right attitudes, right? So talented. But just because they are talented doesn't make them talents. to bridge from becoming talented to become a talent is that a talented must be able to be leveraged, must be able to be used, must be able to be helping us become successful. We assume that talented people will go do the things we want them to do, will take up assignments that we want them to take up, but they may be reluctant for personal reasons, for private reasons, for professional reasons. And so those talented people, in my way of looking, are not talents. Why? Because they are not able to be leveraged by the organization. So we got to be able to, early in the front end, have career discussions and say, I am targeting you for a future role. Is this of interest to you? And they say, no. Then we are saying is, this is not going to be very helpful for the future. I'm going to move you to a different city in Vietnam. Will you go? No, I won't go. Why? Because my parents are aging. All right, very talented, but they are not talents because they will not move to where the future job opportunities are. So you got to go to leverage talent, and we will have that around career discussions, around priority discussions, and what motivates them to want to step up to the future assignments. And last but not least, it's a very, very state of the art. I wanna take this opportunity when you come to the CHRBP program to give you the latest developments on what is happening in the human capital, in the human resource world. So we're going to talk about the future of HR, agile HR, agile performance management, agile talents, agile compensation systems, agile managers, agile employees, using digital approaches, using robots, using artificial intelligence. So we're going to talk to you about agile HR, which is the future of HR. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you're going to wind up with. 5 days, 10 modules, okay? Very intensive, very practical, but at the same time, I believe that you will enjoy working with me, learning from me, but equally important is to work with your other HR colleagues in the workshop and comparing and learning from each other as well. So I don't see any questions. So any questions, any comments before I go into the details of some of these modules? Okay, all right, so let's proceed. So now we will go and give you a little bit more of a teaser, a little bit more of a deeper representation of what is inside each of these modules. So in module 1, half a day, all right, you are going to be looking at the evolution and transformation of HR using the CIPD model of what has happened between the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000, 2010. How HR has been able to transform itself and our value add to the business over the last 50 to 60 years. It is very important for you to understand that, because some of our organizations, although we are today in the year 2022, operating with HR concepts from the 1980s and the 1990s. And if we realize that we are operating with some very legacy models, and those legacy models are not necessarily bad models, but the fact is they are old models, okay? And so you want to be able to say, do I need to speed up to come into the 2020 capabilities of HR? And so in order to do that, we are going to learn from Professor Dave Ulrich from the University of Michigan. He is my favorite HR expert. I spent 2 weeks in Michigan at an executive development program with him and a bunch of other professors about future capabilities of HR leadership. So he is my respected guru, and we're going to use a lot of his ideas. He is known as the father of modern HR. Okay, and he says that in HR work, we can see our work in 4 areas. In 4 areas. And that is the 4 areas, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see here at the bottom left-hand corner of the chart, where he talks about either you are going to be, I'm sorry, not the bottom, okay, at the right hand upper corner here, I'm circling here, 4 quadrants of HR work. Okay, over here, okay. And we talk about the fact that there are sometimes our work is very process oriented. Hiring people, firing people, rewarding people, moving people, all right? We're very, very focused. We have performance management systems. We have got appraisal systems. We have got reward systems. So we have all kinds of HR processes, as well as also business processes, sales process, finance process, audit process. But we are also having to balance off by being people focused. So people versus process. We are also very involved in the work around being future oriented, more strategic focus, more big picture focus, versus very operational, very tactical, very day-to-day focus. And so when you take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen, all right, then we say if you are very, very process, but very futuristic about your process, this is what is classified as strategic HR work. If you are looking at, okay, people process, people capability in a more strategic, long-term kind of way, you're looking at becoming a change manager, expert, helping the organization transform. And then if you are more day-to-day, you're looking at helping the organization acquire performance capabilities, management of employee contribution or performance. And then the 4th area is our very transactional, very administrative work that we do in HR, whether it is training administration, payroll system, filling out forms, okay, to onboard people, and so on and so forth. So that's the 4 area of work. And you have got to be able to look and say, where is your role as a HRBP in these 4 areas, okay? And then we also realize that in particular, in this space here, the HRBP spends a lot of time with the managers. Who is responsible for people? Who is responsible for talents? Retaining them, motivating them, leading them. It's the managers. Why? Because the people report to the managers. They belong to the managers. They don't belong to you and me in HR. Yet, we have a vital role to be able to support and help the managers to be successful with their people, retaining them, engaging them, motivating them. And so the understanding between the role of the HR business partner and the role of the manager must be very well understood. I always have this favorite question: who is responsible for employee engagement? And oh, okay, what happens is the CEO is responsible for employee engagement. Okay, I can see that. Who is responsible for employee engagement? Oh, the line manager. Oh, definitely, I can see that. Who is responsible for employee engagement? Oh, HRBP. Okay, I can see that. Who is responsible for employee engagement? The employees themselves. So now you have everybody is responsible for employee engagement, but specifically what is the role of each of these people so that we are very synergistic, we are very symbiotic in the way we play out each other's role. Okay, and so understanding the clarity, the symbiosis is very, very important. Otherwise, the line manager will wait for you to do what they think is your work, and then you wait for them or what you think is their work in successful HR strategy. Right, okay, and then I'm going to be showing you, okay, a bit, okay, of latest research, okay, in terms of what is HR transformation, all right, and so you can see here in the bottom hand corner here, exposed to you, research shows that in the 2020s, all right, the priority for HRBP is transformation. It's about agile. It's about the ability to help the business succeed with the customers. Is to be able to focus on the outside rather than the inside capabilities. And then to be able to align people with the vision, mission, and purpose of the company. Okay, so this is based on a research that has been done with a few thousand companies in Asia about what is the focus, the impact, the priority from 2020 onwards. So you are going to be covering this in the module 1. Oops. Now we're going to module 2. Module 2 is about you. You have to be credible. You have got to have the skills. You have got to have the expertise. You have got to have the reputation. And so when we begin to talk about it starts with you, then we assess you, your HRBP competencies, looking at your personal credibility. Do people trust you? Do managers trust you? Do employees trust you? Do other areas of HR trust you? Your personal credibility, how you build relationships, how you begin to engage meaningful value-add relationship is about personal credibility. How good are you? On a score of 1 to 6, where do you stand? We will do an assessment, and then we will look at where your strengths are. Next, we are going to be looking at your skills in terms of understanding HR delivery. Do you understand compensation? Do you understand training? Do you understand staffing? Do you understand talent development? Do you understand all areas in what we call the centers of excellence? Because it is for you to be able to go into the centers of excellence, ask them to come with you to go and support the business. Okay, so HR delivery. If you do not know how to pull the staffing people at the right time, if you do not know how to leverage the compensation people at the right time, you're losing valuable support for you to deliver the HR capability to the business. So how good are you in understanding HR delivery? Next, how good are you in terms of understanding HR technology? How good are you in terms of understanding use of social media, machine learning, robotics, all right, artificial intelligence, okay, in our HR work going into the future? How good are you? Okay. Next, how good are you, all right, in terms of the ability to have business knowledge, understand the business model, how we make money, how we win customers, how we design products, how do we service our customers? Do you have an understanding of the business model, business knowledge? Next, okay, is do you have a good understanding of the strategies of the company, the purpose, vision, mission, the strategic options, the new products, the new offerings, the new service, the competition, the external environment? Do you understand the part of strategic capability of the organization? We're going to assess you, baseline you, all right, and then we'll look, okay, at your strengths and gaps. Okay, so we have got a spider diagram here that can show your relative strengths and weaknesses, and then you can start developing your action plans to strengthen your capability. So it's very practical, it's very objective, and we will help you with that journey. Next, okay, is then we're going to go to the RH model, and the RH model says that there is, okay, a total of 8 competencies that are very, very critical. All right, starting with the one here in the middle. All right, in terms of helping the company to be a strategic positioner, how to be able to become a credible activist, not only being politically correct, but once in a while ask the difficult question, challenge the CEO, be the conscience, okay, of the company. All right, go ask marketing, you know, are we missing out certain critical areas using your OD skills, right? And then balancing. Paradox Navigator is balancing between being strategic and being, okay, a credible activist. Okay, so 3 very important skills here. And then, okay, at the top here is your skill as HRBP. Are you good in facilitating, transforming culture? Are you very good in talent management? Human capital curator is a fancy word for talent management. Are you very good in terms of understanding rewards, recognition, motivating people? Okay. And then here is the basic infrastructure of HR. Are you good in understanding the compliance? Okay, the country rules, the country regulations, the COVID-19 responses, etc., etc. Okay, so policies and regulations. All right, now are you able, okay, to be able to analyze the data, the people data, and use the people data to help you win, retain people, motivate people, all right, win businesses. So HR analytics. And last but not least, okay, to be able to leverage the technology to make the interaction with employees more fun, more deep meaning, and therefore deep engagement. Okay, so you're going to be able to look at all these, and I have a 1-page summary here, and the work that you are going to learn, the competencies that you're going to learn, is not only coming up from KC Yan's knowledge. Okay, you are actually going to be looking at bringing together some of the best competency requirements as identified by Society for Human Resource Management, which is, okay, from the US, from the Chartered Institute of Personnel Development, which is from the UK. And of course, you have the RH model, all right, which is aligned with the ITD model. All right, so I'm going to give you, all right, a combination of really coming in, bringing in, condensing competencies from the best HR institutions around the world, and you are going to be learning this in the number 2 module. Right, module 3, outside in HR. What does this mean? Okay, is that HR is sometimes we are so full of our own process. We have our performance management system. We have got our, talent development system. We have got our staffing system. We have got our benefits system. We have our payroll system. We are full of systems. But these are all, if you will acknowledge, internal processes. Processes that helps us internally to be efficient in managing our human processes, our people processes. But you have to ask yourself, a question ultimately is that when we have got great efficient internal processes, they are supposed to help us win externally, hire the best talent, retain the best talent, ensure that our talent can compete, okay, with your competitors. So that's what we mean by outside in HR. We always want to look, okay, at our human capabilities and says, we are very good, but is the human capital in the competition better than us? And so that becomes our standard, outside in HR versus inside out HR. Okay. And so we are going to be looking at understanding who are the customers of HR, and the customers of HR, you would expect the answer to be the managers, the employees, the CEO, the board of directors, the customers of HR. And we're suggesting to you is that is not the correct answer. The correct answer is that the customers of HR are the customers of your customers. They are the customers of your line managers. They are the customers of your CEO. They are the customers, okay, of your department heads. So when we talk about who are the customers of HR, we're talking about the customer of your customer, your inside customer. Therefore, the customer of the inside customer are the outside customers. And how do we, as HRBP, reframe our thinking to support the line managers to look good in front of the external customers? Okay, and then HRBP as HR ambassadors, I already explained that. Okay, how to protect the HR function, how to build the brand of the HR function. Okay, so that we all collectively, the whole HR department looks very, very strategic, looks very, very good, looks very, very credible in front of the business people. Okay, and we are going to use then studies, research from a very renowned consulting firm called Gartner, okay, in terms of how we can measure HR success going forward. Okay. So as you can see, I am giving you, when you come to this workshop, some of the latest and greatest ideas and methodologies. Right, leading change, managing change, transformational change. And so you are going to learn how to pick up a few models. I've seen many managers, I've seen many HR using what I call common sense to manage change. Nothing wrong with common sense, but it is not robust. It is not, comprehensive. So you got to have a very, very robust, reliable approach, system, framework to managing change. And so you're going to be introduced, okay, to a few very well proven, very well understood frameworks of change. One that you see on the left hand side here is called an EDGAR framework, and then you have got Gotter's framework. So you're going to pick up, a couple to at least 3 or 4 frameworks that when you go forward and you facilitate the change, you have got a process. You have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and you're not bypassing the step. You're not, what happens is, missing only steps. You have got a very comprehensive, robust approach to your transformation effort. You're also going to look, in terms of the change. The change, what is change? Change is about taking us to the future. Change, by definition, is change into the future. It's not changing today. It is changing today for tomorrow. So you got to be able to look, at something called the McKinsey's 7S model. You got to be able to look, at helping people to overcome resistance to change. And how are you going to be able to then, as I said, initiate change, launch change, communicate the change, and then sustain the change. So you are going to be very powerful change masters, change agents, change champions when you are completing this module 5. Organization development. You are now seen as a consultant, an internal consultant. All right, an internal consultant is someone who has deep expertise in helping people to explore their mindsets, to explore what we call design thinking. What is our problem? Why is our problem a problem? What does success look like? So you're going to use design thinking to help the organization identify its challenges, to identify its opportunities, to identify its success future. So there is what we call the triple diamond approach to helping you to help the organization identify systems, methods, processes, business models, people models, okay, using design thinking methodology. Therefore, you have got the 40 model, you have got, okay, the OD action research method model. So again, you are going to be very rich, coming up with tools, with frameworks. Now, obviously, these tools and frameworks are for you. You don't necessarily have to show this in front of the managers. All right, but what you want to do is you keep it behind it, and then you use it in a hidden kind of way. All right, so that it's complete, and people who are the line managers will not think that you are being too theoretical, but you need the framework. Module 7, as I already mentioned just now, how do you measure your success, your organization's success in managing people, in managing human capital? Well, first things first, we have got to be able to understand this thing called analytics. So you have got HR data. We have all kinds of HR data. We have extremely rich data, maybe too much data. All right. And then you have got information. And then you have got insight. Okay, let me explain the difference in a few more seconds. And how do you, as an HRBP, all right, being able to go from poor data, data that is not fresh, data that is not accurate, data that is old, data that is, meaningless. Okay, so you are able to move your data to data rich. Good data that is clean, high quality, relevant, fresh. Okay, so you want to move your data, all right, from X to X1. Now you have got rich data, you have meaningful data, but you need to process the data so that it becomes information. Your HR data now needs to become HR information. And in other words, this is where you organize the data, you analyze the data, you look for trends, you look for patterns, you look for characteristics in terms of using it to help you to predict, helping you to understand the people in your organization, the people dynamics. Then you go from data rich to information poor because you don't have the analysis tools, because you don't have the analysis frameworks, you do not know what to look for, you do not know what questions to ask, and therefore what to analyze. Then you want to go from information poor, you are data rich, but information poor, and now you want to be able to move into information rich because you have done tremendous analysis, insightful patterns, insightful understanding of the future, predicting, trending, using information. Who is going to stay, who is going to be motivated, who is going to be retainable, information, okay? Now, then you have really rich information, and then you are going to be rich information, but insight, quote, what is insight? The difference between information and insight is decision-making. Insight is action-taking. Insight is conclusion. Insight is summarizing. Insight is strategy-making. So you have rich information, very, very powerful information, but for whatever reason, we don't take action. We don't move it to the next level. Okay, so you are very information-rich, but you are insight poor. You lack motivation, you lack a drive, you lack, the culture, all right, to go and take action. So you want to move from being insight poor to then insight rich. You want to move faster, better, quicker, more opportunistically than your competitor. Okay, so when we're going to talk about HR matrix, we're going to help you look, okay, at your people data, your organization data, all right, so that you can move them from what we call your existing data using existing analytics, new data with new analytics. So we're going to help you to explore how to clean up your data, how to freshen up your information, and then how to move it, okay, to the next level of people excellence. Right, module 8. We are going to then be able to talk about this very critical role that you have as an HRBP, and that is becoming the talent manager. So you got to be able to ask, okay, a very, very important question. Define the talent. I was working with a very big bank in Thailand. And when I was sitting down with the head of talent management, when I was sitting down with the CEO, when I was sitting down, okay, with the chief HR officer, all right, the three of them have very different ideas of what is a talent. And so my job was to help these three people to come to one common definition, one common aligned view of what is a talent and what is not a talent. Sometimes, okay, we define talents, but we also forget that there are certain definitions. We know that these are the kind of competencies, these are the skills that we do not want anymore. These are legacy, all right? And they are not going to be helpful for our future. So you got to be able to understand the talent. And then once you understand the talent definition, what are the competencies? You'll be able to classify them on what we refer to as potential and performance. So this is called your 9-box talent grid. You have to classify people. Are they high potential? Are they low potential? Are they low performers? Are they high performers? Okay, and you want to be able to put your talents into this 9-box grid. Now, usually a lot of organizations will have less problem in identifying who are their low performers, who are their medium performers, and who are their high performers. There are challenges, but it's less of a problem. But organizations really, really struggle. They're looking for you as the HRBP to give them solutions, answers, ideas on how to identify potential. Potential. All right? Performance you can see. Potential requires deeper research. All right. And so we are going to give you tools. We're going to give you techniques. We're going to give you frameworks that when you say that Mr. Nguyen is a high potential, the potential is the potential of the future job, the future strategies, the future requirements. That's how we measure potential. So what is your criteria when you say that Mr. Nguyen is a high potential? Not because he's doing a good job today. If he's doing a good job today, he's a high performer, but he's not a high potential. You know, the way he thinks, the way he analyzes, the way, okay, he interacts, the way that he operates with different levels of people, that is a more correct identifier of high potential. So we are going to give you, all right, new definitions to help you get more accurate in differentiating between high potential, medium potential, and low potential. Okay, so then after that, we can talk about, once you have more accurately assessed these people, this box 9 people, okay, box 9 is high, right? And then you invest in them, you mobilize them, you leverage them, you get really, really meaningful payoff. As opposed to you classify people in box 9, and then when the time comes, they fail, okay, to live up to the expectation of being a box 9. Okay, so it's very unfortunate because it's a lot of investment and the investments have gone to waste. So talent management, succession planning, competency in terms of looking at today's performance, competency in terms of looking at tomorrow's potential is going to be very, very important things that you learn from module 8. Right, module 9. So your ability to assess, your ability to evaluate, your ability to identify accurately, all right, talents is one thing. But you need to then be able to leverage them, mobilize them, use them, all right, to help you to deliver success for the business, success for your company, but also success for themselves. So one of the very important things that we talk about is, something called an IDP, an individual development plan. And usually when we talk about development plan, we sometimes run out of ideas. Okay, so how do you develop? Well, we're going to offer you a menu of 26 different ways in which you can accelerate the development of your box 9 people and your box 8 people. Okay, so there you are. You come to the workshop. We're going to explore with you how to use this, when to use these 26 options to accelerate your talent development. We're also going to help you, to not only accelerate the development, but to get them ready to be promoted, to take over, to succeed. We're going to help you with the succession planning. Okay, and so we're going to have you as the HRBP be able to facilitate the talent discussions, challenging each other, manager, the finance manager, sitting down with the production manager, sitting down with the procurement officer, sitting down with the CEO, and each one challenging each other's view of who are the talents. And we're not challenging here for a political reason, but we're challenging it because we really want to have the best of the best confirmed. And it is your job as an HRBP to be very, very good in facilitating this different perspectives about your talents. Okay, and come out with an aligned view and say, Mr. Nguyen is really, really good, not because, all right, the CFO likes him, and he's not a talent, not because the chief engineer don't like him. All right, so you are going to have to learn, and you're going to give you the tools and the frameworks to help you to facilitate what I call talent assessment and calibration meetings. And last but not least, you are going to learn how to help, all right, build the career. We talk about career coaching, career development, but many of us, all right, don't have really a powerful tool, a powerful framework that really is meaningful in developing the career plan. You know, we have organization, or we have a strategy plan. We have a strategy framework. We know how to formulate our strategy. Very good. But career is also a strategy. It is a strategy for your talent. All right. So do you have got a strategy framework to help the talents become strategically enabled? So we're going to give you, all right, a template that will help you to have that strategic career enhancing discussions for your, in particular, high potentials. So you can leverage them, you can accelerate them, you can grow them, you can leverage them. And last but not least, whoops. All right, we're going to give you some of the latest ideas in terms of building what I call the agile HR, agile organization, agile company. And so you're going to be introduced to you, okay, some very state-of-the-art. These concepts, some of these concepts are constantly, even today, being debated, being benchmarked, okay? And a lot of companies are still experimenting with these new ideas and new approaches to having agile HR. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the best concepts that is beginning to emerge from the world that is experimenting on how to build more capable people, more capable culture, more capable human capital systems. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, 10 modules, 5 days, very intense, very meaningful, and that gets you into the HRBP track in a very solid kind of a way. So now, as I was mentioning, you finish all those 10 modules, you will be given, okay, a certificate of attendance. But you don't want to only be attending a workshop. You want to be officially certified. So what does certification mean? Certification means you have to prove that you have taken the things that you learned at the workshop and apply it. So you would have to do a project. You would have to identify a project, get approval from me about the topic of your project, make sure that your project has received the endorsement and the support of your business people, and then go work on the project. At the end of 90 days, you would have to then present your project back to me, and when I look at the quality of your project, then I will certify you or not certify you as a professional HRBP. And we will give you tools. You're going to be primarily using the OD techniques, the change management techniques, all right, in executing your project, so that you are able to show that you are certified. So when we say somebody is certified, it means you have confirmed putting theory into practice. And when you have successfully earned that at the end of 90 days, all right, and we'll give you a template, we'll give you a tools, we'll give you coaching support to help you to complete your project and complete it successfully. And then you'll be awarded a CHRBP, all right, by ADO International, all right, a very famous Asia professional HR certification body, and of course ITD World. And I just want to trigger your imagination a little bit. And so this is how you see yourself. That when you are certified, you're allowed to carry the title in your name card. So put your name here, and you are HR director, you are HR manager, you are HR professional, and you can put at the back of your name card, certified HRBP adult. Okay, which means that you are a professionally certified, a professionally accredited HR business partner practitioner. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope, okay, that you are excited about the possibilities of what you can learn, all right, to become more powerful in your HRBP work. So thank you.